Take advantage of this faith-fueled charity. It will not last.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. Man, I don't... Darkest Dungeon, yes. This is actually Darkest Dungeon this time. It is, right?
Okay, first of all, you had one fucking job, Wang. Keep the thread running. And then you fucked off with Breath of the Wild. What the hell?
Well, it wasn't just Breath of the Wild, it was also Hollow Knight, and
Oh, that...
And then there was also
Again.
the other 2 LPs I'm micromanaging. Look, let me just tell y'all, end of February, beginning of March, that was a fuck for good video games just coming out, and I apologize for the delay in updates. But yeah, today and for this next 2 videos, we are going to do something interesting and completely finish off a biome. Today we're gonna kill the Necromancer Lord.
Alright, about damn time.
And this is gonna sound really fucking weird, especially coming from a guy like me who has 300 hours in Darkest Dungeon. The Necromancer's hard now.
I refuse to believe that.
It's a weird reality that I'm coping with myself, but they did like one minor thing to the ruins as a whole that makes him like a bigger pain in the ass.
Alright.
Also, since I put Lash in the cleaning closet, I gotta rely on a lower level Crusader for this. What was that pronunciation?
I have no idea. I'm actually still hung up on the cleaning closet. I don't know what that is, but...
It's the sanitarium.
Oh, gotcha.
I think I'm locking a trait for him. I'm also having a hard time like trying to figure out how to deal with this thing because you weren't kidding, Shitlin. This is about the time of the game where money gets really tight.
Yeah? That's why you never lock in traits ever. You just let people fall where they may.
But that's dumb. Also, I think I mentioned it in the last video, but I honestly can't remember for the life of me because that was like a fever dream, but we've been getting a lot of ancestor trinkets, and I think we got a good set of them right now. Like, I believe we have the ring and the coat, which gives us a good set of defensive items.
But you also have the gun.
Oh yes, the gun, my favorite trinket. Oh yeah.
I'm sure it's good for something.
It's really a tough thing to say because... Excuse me. Sorry. The gun is a really tough thing to work with because by nature, ranged attacks are usually very accurate. Like, your 3 main ranged people are going to be either Houndmaster, Grave Robber, or Arbalist. By nature, Arbalist has the highest accuracy, bar none. The Grave Robber has a buff on her ranged attack that gives her accuracy, and the Houndmaster is just good in general. So,
What about the Highwayman?
who uses the Highwayman for anything but point-blank shot?
Me.
Really?
He's a pretty good row 3 guy.
Maybe. I haven't used him as a gunman for a while just because point-blank shot is inherently better oh, hang on.
I brought my colleagues back with much of their intellect intact. A remarkable triumph for even the most experienced necromancer. Freed from the trappings of their humanity, they plied their terrible trade anew. The dead reviving the dead, on and on down the years. Forever.
Not as impressive a story as in my opinion.
Only the mad or the desperate go in search of him.
You don't like the story of the ancestor just fucking up so hard he created an endless loop of dead raising dead?
This doesn't sound like... This doesn't seem like a fuck-up to me so much as, like, exactly as planned, but also part 2 of the Necromancer just sounds better in my opinion. It sounded like a more sinister way of conveying the ancestor. Also, there's something I've been ruminating on since the Darkest Dungeon Radiant mode update. You know how they said they were supposed to make it quicker?
Mm-hmm.
In some ways they did. Like, in general, you need less dungeons to to do things, but I've noticed now with the more organic dungeon designs, the dungeons themselves are way longer.
I'm actually okay with the dungeons being a little bit longer. Like, I think what needed to be changed was the actual, like, meta of grinding up the bosses and grinding your gear and all that stuff.
Yeah, they've reduced that, which is really good, honestly, but...
Yeah, I never really had a problem with the length of the dungeons themselves.
I kinda had a problem with it because in order to expedite this LP and get to the bosses faster, I've been exclusively doing long champion mode dungeons, which, by this point in the game only gets you halfway to a boss, by the way.
Oh, good.
So that's been fun. That's been fun, like, going through 2 hours of footage to get screen caps for the recap footage.
Ugh.
But yeah, like, before the Radiant update, Darkest Dungeons map designs were less organic, but they were always 4 tiles long in every room. So you could, like, you could calculate just how long a run will take. I noticed that earlier on, dungeons are a little bit shorter, like, in starter mode dungeons, you will see like 1-tile hallways or 2-tile hallways, and it's pretty good. You'll see those most often. However, when you go to champion mode, you're gonna be seeing primarily 5-tile long dungeons. Take a good look at this map.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of an unfortunate consequence, in my opinion. To some people like Chitlin, it's not a bad thing, but when you're trying to, you know, when you're trying to blitz content, it gets a little harrowing.
Well, it looks like just about everything except for like one hallway here is
maintain the offensive.
5 tiles long.
Yeah, 4 to 5. Sort of what I'm saying.
Like,
There could probably stand to be like a greater range of variation in there.
yeah, that's kind of
like have a higher chance of getting, you know, a 2-tile hallway or whatever. But
honestly, yeah, because that's why I like the new update, is because when I was doing Radiant mode, dungeons felt a lot more organic, where you had like the 1-tile hallways, the 3-tile hallways, the 7-tile hallways.
yeah,
That made it look interesting. That made it look like a real place instead of a randomly generated game.
Hope blossoms.
Now I'm just kind of like, Luckily, with the power of video editing, you, the viewer, don't have to look at this quite so long.
yeah, it really seems like they sort of gravitate towards the longer hallway designs in Champion.
Well, yeah, kind of. There are 7-tile hallways, and luckily I have not seen a single one of them on this file. So there's definitely a predisposition. Also, hey, new enemy.
Oh.
We're not gonna see him. We're not gonna see how he operates in this fight, but I do kind of get a good oh, what's this term I'm looking for? I get a good like test group for me to show off how he works without getting my face completely ripped open.
Well, it appears he gives like a passive buff to his teammates.
Yes.
mostly.
By existing, he gives all his allies 25% more damage. Now, he also has another pair of dirty tricks that we'll see later in the video. He also has this in the attack. But yeah, having him around makes the, these two a lot more threatening. Like, when I was doing the other half of this week's updates, I came to realize that I hate this man. Also, an interesting note, when the update first came out for Radiant mode, he only had roughly about 150 stun resist. Now, I don't know why for the life of me they changed it, but not even like 2 hours after the update went live, they changed it to 245% stun resist. I do know why, because his other gimmick, which we're gonna see in the other fight, is that he gets a free action to revive anyone.
Oh, great.
And that's probably why they did the stun resist, because they didn't want you to, like, ruin his gimmick.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
But yeah, that's the skeleton version of the Bard, and to be fair, it's relatively devastating. I've had a couple close calls during the recap because of him. Aside from that, this is primarily cleanup. Nothing else really new with these guys. Though due to the fact that crit rate is in general ramped up on champion dungeons, the Bone Arbalest gets a lot more threatening than usual.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering why you're not prioritizing the Arbalest.
Because my ranged options aren't limited. The kit I chose for Kaboom Dragoon is mainly utility rather than outright offense. And because of that, I can't really play with the Arbalest as much as I usually do.
Yeah, because I noticed you took the front row plague, but not the plague grenade. So I don't know. I figured going up against the Necromancer you'd want a back row DOT, but
well, the way
the
way I've been using Kaboom Dragoon is I've been using disorienting gas in order to pull back people forward. When my logic is, if I could keep pulling people forward, I don't need the back grenade, even though it's actually superior.
Huddled together, furtive
I mean,
and vulnerable. Rats in a maze.
Can you move the Necromancer?
Yes, he actually has relatively low move resist.
Oh, okay.
Like despite having a new trick to his trade, he's still relatively weak. It's just that he's a lot harder to touch. And also, I don't know what to do here because everybody in this group is either anti-disease or anti-stress, and I have neither of those, so I'm just like, what do I do? One thing everybody should bring on a Vestal is, I believe it's Bless, because it gives one person plus 10 dodge and accuracy, and that's a game changer. Plus 10 dodge is really nuts. Also, if you haven't noticed, I put Wilbur's flag on the Grave Robber because not only is it plus 15 dodge, it's 35 stun resist at no downside. That accessory is super powerful.
Yeah.
I don't think I really use any of the accessories we got so far, but we don't really have much to begin with.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
We got the flag, we got the conch shell, and I think that's it, actually.
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
I'm interested to see what they do to the Necromancer.
Towering,
Sorry.
fierce.
It's not what they did to the Necromancer so much as what they did to the skill set of one specific enemy. This guy.
Oh, he can guard now, that's right.
Mm-hmm. So guess
Good.
how much of more of a pain in the ass this guy is to fight.
I mean, I've been hoping they would add guard to that guy since the code was released, so...
It makes
that's,
perfect sense, honestly. I don't mind it. Like, it's a perfectly reasonable thing to do with that enemy. It's just that until I got here, I didn't realize, oh shit, this actually kind of sucks. This is
now,
really...
can the Necromancer summon the Roman flag bearer dude?
Luckily, no. That would be awful. The Necromancer can only summon lower tier zombies, being the club skeleton, the sword skeleton, and the shield skeleton.
Okay.
This is also why I brought Kaboom Dragoon, because he's a more precise stunner. He can stun pretty much every row barring front. And because of that, it's a little bit easier to deal with the shield bearer. Not a lot though, because I do admit this fight does go on a little bit longer than I'd like because of him. I'm also rolling really low on damage, which is bizarre.
That's just the way of the dice. It happens.
Yeah. I'm also surprised at how powerful stun is still against the Necromancer Lord.
Oh.
There we go. That just extended the boss fight about 5 more turns.
Yeah.
Now, because of this, the Necromancer actually gets to act. And that...
Oh, well, okay, I was gonna say you should probably have saved stunning the shield guy until he actually guarded.
Yeah, that would have helped.
But now there's 2 on the field, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is also the reason why I didn't equip the Sacred Scroll. I am slowly learning that that unique accessory for the Vestal is actually kind of a liability. Because believe it or not being able to stun on command really sucks. Like, it's the worst.
Well, it's meant for a healing Vestal.
Yeah.
It's not meant for a damage dealer.
Well, I really don't see...
Or a stunner.
Yeah. Like, in my opinion, when you're having a heal Vestal, having the stun is almost mandatory for your off time because you really need something to do when everybody's at full health. And when you don't, it kinda sucks. Welcome to the front of the class.
I mean, you could always bring a front row Vestal.
I should be using
only
those.
done that once.
Yeah, I should be using those more, huh?
Yeah, they're a really good class to work with. I really enjoy front row Vestals.
They are fun, I admit. Like, I need to find more reasons to use them, but I just honestly, when I record these, it's either at like 1 in the morning or at 10 in the morning, and I just kind of go into like an automatic mode. I just kind of think, okay, which is the best situation for this? Okay, we're gonna need 2 frontliners, 2 backliners. One of them's got to be crowd control. The other's got to have traits specific to the dungeon. Basically, what I'm saying is that LP in this game was a bad idea because it kind of sucked the charm out of it.
That's what I find LP does to most games.
Such a terrible assault.
Yeah, like I won't deny that. Like, I'm enjoying showing off this game, and I'm glad so many people are getting this game and playing it for themselves, but the more I play this game, the more I realize it's no longer the story that we're building of the Dark Place Estate. It's me actively deconstructing the game. Like, I believe at this point I realize, oh, I've done enough DOT damage to just completely ignore the Necromancer. So let's do so.
Hell yeah.
LPs are weird, man. Like, I never realized that would be a consequence of LPing games I love. Yeah, right.
I mean, it could be worse. I frequently find with every game I LP, I end up hating the game afterwards, no matter how much I love it going in. So.
See, that's the thing. It could work in reverse, and you could eventually come to love Grimrock too.
Yeah, also a falcon could shoot out of my ass, but you know, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, well, this is for the most part pretty much a sealed deal. It's just that we need to, you know, clean up 2 guys with 75% prot.
Even the dead can die.
I mean, there's 0 threat in this fight now, so.
Yeah, it mainly becomes.
It's just a time investment at this point.
Yeah, and it's also the worst with the Axemen, because if they use Axeblade, I don't know if this comes on Veteran or Champion, but their Axeblade now has a debuff to cause negative 40% stun and move resist. So one could axe you, the other could bash you with the shield, and you're going flying backwards while stunned. Like, it's not critical, but it's very, very inconvenient. As seen here. The fight's not that hard, though. Like, even if Kaboom Dragoon is taking point, there's no risk of danger here.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering why you said the Necromancer's hard now. Is it, like, apparently just because he get guarded is a measure of difficulty for you now?
Technically, yes. in the most technical sense, he's harder because he can actually act.
Okay, in the most technical definition, he is more difficult. Sure. But he's not hard.
He's still a pushover, yes.
He's still the easiest boss in the game.
I kind of want to say Swine King as a counterpoint. But I've been learning that in harder difficulties, his AI is just completely fucking random. Like, you could remove marks and he'll still do obliterate masses.
Great is the weapon that cuts.
But yeah, like, Necromancer is indeed tougher by merit of he could actually do something. Good job, but you're still fucking dead.
A trifling victory.
But I do have an empty inventory,
But a
so
victory nonetheless.
let's change that.
Hell yeah. Gotta get that loot.
Yeah, money's tight. Let me tell you, having to spend $3,000 every day on equipment is a little harsh. Well, let's see, it'd be $6,000 for a full set of new gear per person, so it'd be, in the most unoptimal circumstances, I'd be spending $24,000 a day just gearing up my idiots. For those of you that signed up on...
I mean, at the very least, you don't have to, like, repair equipment in this game, so that's something.
Yeah. For those of you that watch the LP, you are not idiots, and I appreciate your contributions.
Eradicated.
One thing I've been noticing...
When did we call the audience idiots aside from off camera every time we started a session? But
Chitlin! They can't know.
oh, they were bound to find out.
Can't believe you're I can't believe you're unveiling LP secrets. But yeah, this fight's not much to come. This fight's not really much to note. I've noticed that in champion mode, ghouls have a propensity to skull toss way more often. But honestly, it's not that big a deal. Once upon a time, I used to be scared of these things, and in retrospect, it's weird.
I mean, I have fond memories of the first time I ran into a ghoul or, you know, any new champion enemy, but yeah, I mean, it's just like everything else in this game. You just sort of get used to it by repetition, and eventually it's just another day in the dungeon.
It's amusingly paradoxical to the idea of a Lovecraftian horror story.
Well, I mean, Lovecraftian horror stories usually don't last this fucking long.
Yeah.
Executed.
You don't have enough time to get used to Cthulhu chasing your boat down.
Oh, right. I was thinking of Mountains of Madness because I actually finished reading that recently. That was a weird story.
I don't think I've ever actually finished that one.
I
I always just kind of got bored and went and did something else, but
no, so it's
I don't
not
know.
it's not just me, huh?
No.
It took me like 7 months to read that book just by merit of, oh my god, stop being scientific about it and just tell me about the horror. And then I actually got to the end of the story and I'm like, that was it?
Destroyed.
Oh man, I love grave robbers. They're like
Shit.
They're the most reliable unit in the game. Like, everybody harps on about how the bounty hunter is great or how they love the occultist's heal. But let's just stop and look at the grave robber and how she could just absolutely murder anything she looks at.
And I've always loved the grave robber.
Yeah. Only good players know what's good in this game.
Stranger that happens.
There's a really weird statement that came up in the thread about how I was mentioning that Finale Jester was actually really fucking good for champion mode. The moment I said that, somebody said, oh, better pray the guy in the Darkest Dungeon Games thread doesn't see this or else he'll go apeshit. I'm like, what?
Are people in the game still hung up about jesters being shit?
Apparently there's one person that still thinks that they're not good. However, 60 damage, consistent 60 damage spike hits combined with support rolls begs to differ. I've also come to realize that solo is actually really good. It reduces accuracy by a fuck ton and increases the jester's speed by 6.
Wow.
It's an unusual way to get survivability. It's not reliable by any means. At max level, a solo will have, I want to say, 95% chance to proc a debuff, despite a situation where everybody has like high resists. But when it lands, it's really good. I don't need any of this shit. Well, maybe the crest, but
You need all of it.
I do
Throw
need
out
the
the
bus. No. I will
One
bury
day.
myself with my food once I die due to this LP. Okay, so here is the encounter where I'm talking about, where we get to see the
Annihilated.
the bone bearer do everything. Mainly because I'm just like, oh, it's 3v4. Let's sandbag a bit and show off. So as we mentioned before, he gives.
Go on.
As we mentioned before, he gives a passive buff. He also gives an active buff, so he could easily get enemies up to like 50% more damage or higher if you let them stand around. Now here's their other trick. As a free action at the end of their turn, they revive any corpses on the field.
Well, that's just rude.
Mm-hmm. Now keep in mind, if you're a baby and play with corpses off, this is absolutely nothing.
Right. Does he even do it with corpses off?
I don't know. I'm not that much of I'm not that much of a player to try. However, I will say this. Enemy comp doesn't matter. I had a situation where I had a madman and a cultist body on the field, and the bone bearer resurrected them.
Death, unforeseen.
So he could just straight up resurrect anyone.
Now, I've never actually seen a helmet like that in any sort of
It's a very
historical context.
It's a very exaggerated Centurion helmet from, I want to say, Rome or Greece.
I mean, his look is definitely Roman,
Mm-hmm.
but I've never seen a helmet like that with the circular eye hole like that.
Oh, that's just the old ones coming in and bastardizing everything you know and love.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, when left to his own devices, the Bone Bear is actually quite threatening. Because you know how often I get 30 to 40 damage crits?
Mm-hmm.
It really sucks being on the receiving end.
Slowly, gently. This is how.
Especially when I like to play with Dismis's head, and which usually puts my frontliners down to an average of like 35 to 40 health. And watching that health bar just empty instantly is really frustrating.
A dizzying fall.
But yeah, the Bone Bearer. It's a really good champion. Like, I'm honest to say, I don't think there are any bad champion monsters in this update. It's not like with the veteran dungeons where, oh, they're bigger, but they're also less of a threat because they tie up the action economy. No, these guys are threatening.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, he comes by a lot. It's a little harrowing. Now I just need you to stab him in the head, Crusader. Sure, the Vestal fucked up, but just stab him in the head, Crusader.
He's got this.
You know, he's moving backwards, it's fine. We got all ranges here.
I mean, if the Crusader could get his turn, that would be good. But
Or you could just fucking miss.
yeah, or that could happen. Yeah.
I'm lucky, though, in that he didn't get guarded, because I swear, if you got hit with a guard, I probably would have screamed.
The last thing in the video is Highwing rage quitting.
You just cut to a picture of me on webcam flipping my table. Why would I do that, though? I don't have a webcam. I can't afford that shit. But yeah, notice how our health bars are in general, really low. Well, halfway down, but still.
Looks normal to me. I don't know.
I don't like this.
Impressive.
I don't like that man.
It's fine.
He's a good enemy, a very well-designed enemy. I don't like him.
I don't remember if we ever saw the swine enemy.
I completely spaced and forgot to show it off during the Swine King. I will get footage for when we do the Incarnate Flesh.
Okay.
But I would hazard to say he's the most threatening of them. Actually, you know I can't really say that, because we've seen this Squiffy Ghast. He's threatening because he does, like, what, 20 to 30 stress damage guaranteed to everyone? Then you have the Bone Bearer, which, while on his own, not the worst, but he does a lot of he does a lot of good support things to make other enemies stronger. The one in the Warrens is I can never remember the name, but he's basically a javelin person. That he has two attacks. One is a frontward lunge that will stun and move a person in the front to the back row and do, on average, 20 damage.
Nice.
And then his other attack, it hits ranks 2, 3, and 4 for a rough average of 12 damage.
A singular
A
strike.
3-turn, 3 damage blight, and he reduces your dodge and speed by 10 dodge and 4 speed. The Warrens...
So basically we've got a stressor, a support guy, a pure damage dealer. So what's in the Wield?
The Wield
Remind
has
yourself
a
that
gimmick.
overconfidence is a slow
If there is...
and insidious
The main
killer.
gimmick is that if there is ever a corpse on the unique enemy in the Wield, they turn that corpse into a mushroom that has a fair bit of HP but also prevents healing.
Oh.
Their other gimmick is that they're basically the same as the hags in that they'll cause stress, they'll cause dodge debuffs, make your life just a headache in general to operate. But no healing if you leave a corpse on the field.
Well, that sounds awful for you.
Yeah, you want to know the best part?
What's that?
It's a reaction. You cannot subvert it.
Good.
See you folks next time when we fight the Prophet.